A lack of motivation isn't the reason that you're not consistent. It's a lack of structure that is the issue. And today I want to give you the daily actions or the actions that you guys need to be taking to build unbreakable consistency. The reality is consistency comes from having systems in place and not willpower. A quick one I want to start off with is your training. So with training, I don't get the concept of people just going in, doing a workout and they don't have a plan for it. They just walk in, they're like, all right, I might do this, might do that, might do that. You're just wasting exercise stimulus. Like, you're not letting yourself build any muscle memory with any exercises. You're not letting yourself build up any stimulus or make use of the stimulus that you're going to have in the first few weeks of doing an exercise consistently. And the truth is, chopping and changing all the time or not changing at all for years is just going to hurt your progress. You're going to hit a plateau, things aren't going to be good, and because your results aren't great, then your motivation is going to be low and you're not going to be able to stay consistent. As well as a plan, you should be tracking your workouts as well. So maybe you're using an app like Trainerize that we use for our clients, or maybe you're just writing it down on a notepad, keeping track of your weights, because the reality is it's very easy to forget what you did the previous workout. So let's say you dumbbell bench press, you did 20 kilos for 8 reps the previous week. You might go into the gym the next week and be like, oh, what did I do last week? Maybe I did 18 kilos? 18 kilos to 10 reps, something like that. You might be thinking that, and then now you've automatically just set your expectations lower than what they should be. So you're going to challenge yourself, but you're going to be challenging yourself to something that you're easily capable of doing and you've already done, but you're in the mindset that you are going for a PB or you're pushing yourself, right? It's very easy to do stuff like that, and just multiple other examples around that as well. Having your days locked in as well. A lot of people just say, I want to do 3 workouts this week, and then they just absolutely wing it. They rely on, going when they feel like it, and the reality is that you're not going to feel like going all the time. There's going to be days where you just think, stuff that. And if you don't have days set in place, you're just going to keep holding off and pushing it back until the end of the week, and then now it's Friday and you've got 3 workouts to do, which means you have to work out all weekend after a busy week of work. So if you lock in your days, even if you have rotating rosters where your shifts are constantly changing, just take like 5 minutes on a Sunday to sit down, look at your roster for the week ahead or the weeks ahead, and just lock in the days that you want to work out. If you've got a really busy week and you can't exactly do 3 or 4 workouts, however much you set for yourself, just bring it down, dial it down. Just because you can't do your full amount, it doesn't mean you should do nothing at all or completely fall off track. So if you're trying to do 4 workouts and you can only do 3, that is still better doing 3 workouts than doing 1 workout or none. And a final point on the training part of things is, right, motivation will come with results. Results will come with consistency. Consistency comes with structure. So if there's no structure, then all these things can't happen, which means that motivation will never be there and discipline will never build either. Let's move on to your nutrition now. It's very important that you build repeatable habits with your nutrition. So making sure that you're including your favorite foods in moderation in a controlled portion so you can manage cravings properly. Having a plan when you go out for social events and not just completely avoiding them or restricting yourself there. Because trust me, you're going to get fear of missing out very quickly. You're going to hate your life and you're going to fall off track with your fat loss plan. Simple as that. And we have some clients on our program that, when they initially join the program, they don't believe that they can still eat their favorite foods and lose fat. So it takes them a bit to come around to the fact that they can actually eat, chocolate and ice cream and stuff in a controlled portion on a day-to-day basis if they're craving it. But because they're so used to this mindset that, no, this is bad food, like I can't, get good results while still eating this stuff, right? Even if it's in a small controlled portion, they can still hold off and restrict. So that's something that we've got to teach them and be like, you can have this stuff, trust me, it's just going to rebound down the track if you keep holding off on your cravings. Over the next few weeks, it's going to get more intense and you're just going to rebound like you always do. And that's what a lot of people do. They hold off on their cravings, try to restrict everything. They do these extreme fad diets. They never touch their favorite foods again, and then they'll be back eating it in 2 weeks because they failed their fat loss plan. I also think people should be tracking calories if you're trying to lose fat. It just guarantees accuracy, and it also lets you see visually, how much of a portion of your favorite foods that you can have. It lets you sort of figure out, what this sort of ratio is between this 80 and 20 sort of ratio, where, 80% of your food is good supportive food of your nutritional goals, and then the other 20% is like more indulgent foods. It sort of lets you visualize this and actually see it. And plus it lets you actually make sure that you're hitting your nutritional goals and your protein goals and all that as well. And if you are tracking calories, Lord forbid, bloody save your meals. So if you're using like a MyFitnessPal or I don't know, whatever other calorie tracking app, right? Save your meals. If you're having a meal consistently, which in a fat loss phase, you should be having routine meals that help you hit your goals, please save them. Don't stop, singly logging all these ingredients every time you log. It's just going to be a pain in the ass and you're not going to want to, it's going to take you more time than it needs to. Reality is, after a few weeks of calorie tracking, it should take you like 5 minutes daily to calorie track to get everything sorted at maximum. Unless you're making a big change or something, if you've got all your routine meals, it should be taking no more than 5 minutes. Simple as that. Another thing with nutrition as well is actually meal planning, like having your meals ready to go. The food that you want to eat, actually going and buying it from the shops, not just saying, I'm going to eat it, but then you don't buy it. It's a simple thing, right? Just going and buying what you say you want to do. But it's very easy. Like, a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people say they want to do stuff and they never do it with across the board, right? So if you need things, go buy them. If you need a meal prep, or maybe you can't meal prep, maybe you'll go get meal delivery services like UFoods, Papa Macros, Life Fit Nutrition, or maybe you'll go buy some pre-made strength meals from the shops itself. Whatever it is you gotta do it. And the last point I'm gonna touch on is mindset. Do not have this all or nothing mindset. If you have an off day, it's completely normal. Figure out why you had that off day. Figure out if it's gonna become a recurring thing. If it is, and it's a worry, then you need to look back at your plan and see why that's gonna keep happening. Maybe it's too restrictive. Maybe you're going too aggressive with your calories. Maybe you're burning yourself out too much with exercise. Factors like that, right? But the truth is, off days happen. Everyone has off days. Simple as that. Even off weeks. People can have off weeks as well. You might just be super busy and you try to plan to do as best as you can. It just doesn't happen. Things do happen that way. It's completely fine as long as you get back on track. And as I was saying, for these weeks where you're really busy, it's better for you just to dial it down a little bit, to go from 100 or to go from 90% to 60% than it is to go from 90% to 10%, right? So keep that in mind. Consistency will compound over time. 1 week isn't going to determine, it's not going to impact your results one off week when, you might have the rest of the year as good weeks or, mostly consistent weeks, right? Not even the rest of the year. Like, even if there's 52 weeks in a year, so even if it's like 40 weeks in a year that you're on track really good, and then the other 12 weeks or 3 months, you'll still make progress. If you start implementing all these actions, I promise you will build unbreakable consistency. And if you guys have any questions related to the video, feel free to go to my Instagram at landonquinn.coaching and just message me whatever questions you have or comment it below. I'm happy to answer. I would love to help you guys out, alright? Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys soon.